Hello and welcome to UTV Sports Update. We'll be looking at the latest sports news from Evangel University and around the region. I'm Ethan Mency.
We'll also look at sports across the nation and check out the latest happening in professional sports. I'm Adriana McGregor, and this is Sports Update on EUTV.
So tell me, Adriana, now that March Madness is in full swing with there being baseball and basketball and all these other sports, what's your favorite sport for March, would you say you like to watch?
Definitely basketball. I always do March Madness brackets with my family and our friends. We always have a little prize at the end for whoever gets the closest bracket.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yes.
I also love basketball. It's always been my personal favorite sport to watch.
Do you have a favorite team?
It's hard to say. I love all of them. I just love watching this amazing talent, whether it be college or professional, just play, and then I kind of like to see who wins at the end.
Yeah, there you go. That's fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of basketball, our Evangel women basketball team saw their season come to an end Thursday night in the KCAC Conference Tournament quarterfinals, falling to a 6th-seeded Sterling College 97-63. The game was close early on, with Evangel holding a lead in the first quarter, but Sterling pulled away in the second period, finishing with a 21-7 run, then leading 51-31 at halftime. Despite some strong play from Cami Jenkins and Emily Recker in the second half, the Warriors focused on Evangel's turnovers and cold shooting. The Valors struggled in the final quarter, shooting just 21% and failing to hit a three-pointer. With the loss, Evangel's 2024-25 season came to a close. The Evangel track and field team qualifiers hit the road to Florida this past week, competing at the NAIA Indoor National Championships. With outstanding performances all around, Evangel men took 18th place overall, and the women took 23rd overall. There was a total of 7 school records broken, with 4 athletes getting an All-American spot. These 4 included Jacob Gillies, who jumped 7 feet in high jump and placed second, Delaney Miller, who jumped 5 feet 10 inches in high jump, also placing second, Autumn Node, who ran a 1 minute 33 second 600, placing 5th, and Devin Wright, who ran a 47 second 400, placing him 4th. The track and field team concluded their season with these elite performances and look forward to competing in their outdoor season as well.
Registration for the 6th annual Evangel Athletics Golf Classic sponsored by William Construction is now open. The 4-person scramble is accepting registration for $600 per team. Registration fees include green fees, cart, gift bag, and lunch. Morning registration opens at 7 a.m. with 8 a.m. shotgun start. And afternoon registration opens at 10:30 and lunch will be provided starting at 11 a.m. with a 1:30 p.m. shotgun start. Chick-fil-A will be providing sandwiches following the round. Along with player gifts, whole prizes, closest to the pin, and mulligans will be provided. The 2025 Evangel Athletics Golf Classic will again take place at Fairmont Hills Country Club on May 5, 2025. Thanks to the support of the annual golf tournament, has raised more than $40,000 each last 3 years. Evangel Baseball hosts the Bethany Swedes on Friday and Saturday, February 28th and March 1st for the 3-game conference series, looking to earn their first wins in the conference play. All games will be back at home in Springfield. Evangel is the 6-1 all-time against the Swedes, having gone 2-1 against the conference for the last season on the road. EU fell in Game 1 last season 2-3, but were victorious in Games 2 and 3, take on the series 9-2 and 4-0, respectively. Evangel is currently led at the plate by the Quentin Edwards, who currently boasts of .413 batting average and 11 RBIs, with Shane Poe leading the Valor with 10 runs scored so far this season. Let's hope they will be victorious in all 3 games. So, again, going back to March Madness. In terms of baseball, do you have a favorite team? Do you support our local Cardinals or?
Yes. Well, personally, I'm from Michigan, so I'm a Detroit Tigers fan.
Ooh.
They haven't been doing very good the past few years, but I have hopes for this year. How about you?
When I lived here long ago, my grandpa would always take me to the Cardinals games here. I've never been too big on baseball, but I've played a lot of baseball growing up, and I really enjoy the sport. And I'm hoping to catch some Cardinals games this year.
Yeah, that's always exciting. I've actually never been to a Cardinals game, so I might have to go to one this year.
Oh, you absolutely should. It's a wonderful time.
Yes, I've heard that from a lot of people. So, coming up, we will be interviewing Abe Kretschmann, an EU track and field athlete.
And later on, we'll be taking a look at some NBA and NHL games from around the region. Stay tuned.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and
Welcome back to today's EOTV Sports Interview. We're honored to have with us Abe Kretschmann, Evangel men's track and field athlete. Abe, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you for having me.
So, first question, what got you interested in track and field?
Well, I started out my freshman year playing football, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. You know, it was a great team, great community, but it was a lot to deal with my major going in. I was just constantly busy. Couldn't have a social life here on campus, and that's half of being a college student. So I did track in high school, and I really enjoyed it. Went and visited with the coaches. I really liked our talks, and just decided to join.
Awesome. And what brought you to attend Evangel and join the track and team track field here?
Well, I come from South Dakota, so people are always wondering, how'd you hear of Evangel? And I had a lot of family friends that came here, and they recommended it. My roommate, he was a classmate from high school, and it really just all worked out. I wanted to go somewhere else, get out of the state a little bit, and I really enjoy Evangel, so that's what brought me here.
Awesome. So run me through what an average practice for track and field is like.
So starting out, we have our warm-ups. We'll warm up for a good 15 to 30 minutes depending on the day. We'll have our recovery days, we'll have our hard days, and we'll have just in between in there. And the average practice, I would say, for me as a jumper, it's pretty relaxed compared to the sprinters or the distance. We get out there, do our warm-up, do some sprints, and then we'll go right into some jumping routines that we do, pop-ups, which is just a short approach and then a jump with it. We'll work on our landings, on our approach, making sure our marks are right and our feet are right. Just getting everything primed and ready for track meets, pretty much.
Awesome. And what would you say is some of the hardest parts about track and field are?
Some of the hardest parts is definitely some of the time in there. You have to basically give up your weekends almost for track meets. We'll have some overnight stays and some just one days, but it'll take up the whole Saturday, and it can be difficult if you have a ton of homework and usually you have to get it done beforehand, or even the morning conditionings in the preseason. That was a tough one. I had a lot of people not making it through that, so.
I can imagine. And on the opposite end, what would you say your favorite part about track and field is?
My favorite part is definitely the grind, you could call it. I really like all the work you have to put into it. I like how you can see results, and it's not something that's going to be a drastic result. You're going to see the growth in the process through the whole thing, and I really enjoy that.
Awesome. And how would you say you've grown spiritually in track and field?
Spiritually, our team, we have some great coaches. They lead us really well. And I'd say I've been growing. We have our own little devotion times each week where we get together as a team, and then we'll break up into groups, the male and female groups, to have our coaches talk to us, and then we'll break up into individual groups with our teammates, and we'll go through devotions, and it's really been helping spiritually, and I really enjoy it.
That's awesome. And if you were to give any advice to anybody wanting to join track and field, specifically like in any of the forms of track and field, what advice would you give them?
Advice for track and field, even if you're not that great at it, as long as you can put in the work and the time, you can go as far as you want. Just depends on your mindset and how hard you're willing to work. And just go for it. It's really comes down to, so.
And with track and field coming to a close, how would you say this past overall season has gone?
It's gone really well for me so far. I didn't do track for a whole year, came in and did really well comparatively. Me and the other jumpers, we're all doing really well. We have had some All-Americans on the team. It's just been a really fun time getting to meet some new people on campus and doing new things.
Awesome. And are you looking forward to next track season?
I am, yep. We've got indoor coming up here soon, so.
Awesome. Are you going to be doing the same vaulting, or are you thinking of trying some sprinting, or?
I think we'll just keep it with the jumping for now.
Abe, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure interviewing you. Coming up, we'll take a look at some NBA and NHL games from around the region. Stay tuned.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
On February 25th, Creighton faced St. John's basketball team. Denise Jenkins scored a season high of 27 points, leading St. John's to a dominant 80-66 victory over Creighton on Sunday, marking their best win under the Hall of Fame coach Rick Pitino. Jordan Dingle added 18 points as the Red Storm of the Big East finally secured a big conference win after a string of blown leads. The team played a near-perfect game at Madison Square Garden, making all 10 free throws, recording 24 assists to just 3 turnovers, and holding the Blue Jays to just 23% shooting from beyond the arc. Canada defeated the USA 3-2 in overtime on Thursday to win the first ever Four Nations Face-Off hockey tournament. Connor McDavid scored the game-winning goal at Boston's Garden, wrapping up a tense and politically charged event. The mid-season tournament, which featured teams from Canada, Finland, Sweden, and the US, captivated fans with ticket prices soaring to high prices. The game, which was seen as a preview of what to be expected at the 2026 Winter Olympics, marks the return of NHL players to the game for the first time since 2014. This game has made its mark, and we are all looking forward to the upcoming events from the NHL.
The Philadelphia 76ers have always been a dominant force, but this season they have been struggling to get some wins. Many believe the reason why they are struggling is due to the recent health issue of their star player, Joel Embiid. Over the past 4 years, the 76ers were a juggernaut when Embiid played. In those games, he was, on average, an elite +7 100 possessions when on the floor. But due to a recent knee injury, Joel has had to sit out some key games, costing the 76ers to win some important games. Now, as Joel and the team work through what comes next and how his knee will be treated, the question is whether they can come up with the plan to return Embiid to this dominant player he once was as early as a year ago. The Cavaliers took on the Celtics last Friday in Boston in a very close, high-scoring game. The start of the game was rough for the Celtics, as the Cavs had all of their starters, but the Celtics played without some of their starters. Despite this, though, the Celtics sprinted out of the gate with a 25-3 lead. After this cold start, the Cavs responded, going on a 41-22 run to get back into the game. Darius Garland scored 20 points and had 7 assists, with Evan Mobley adding 17 points and 12 rebounds. What ultimately was the game decider was when Donovan Mitchell scoring 41 points and 12 points in the fourth quarter to help the Cleveland Cavaliers rally from 22 points down and beat the Celtics 123-116. You know, I'm starting to see why they call it March Madness now, with all like the high-scoring games, the injuries of star players that determine the outcome. I can see why people get really hyped for sports in March.
Yes, it's always an intense basketball game that makes people really intrigued to watch, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's insane. Like, I guess I should pay more attention to sports from now on and get into it. Mm-hmm. When we come back, we'll have the EU Player of the Week.
We'll also have your upcoming Evangel games this week. We'll be right back.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
With the month of March finally here and baseball and basketball season now in full swing, that also means we get to see a lot more amazing individuals' talent shine.
It does, and I'm looking forward to seeing how all of them will compete this season. Now let's show off one of our own of all their hard work on the field this week.
It's time now for the EUTV Sports Player of the Week.
Jacob Gillies is a fifth-year senior at Evangel University. This past week, he competed at the NAIA Indoor National Championships for his very last time as an Evangel athlete. He cleared 7 feet on his second attempt and finished second place, making him one of the first runner-ups for national champions for Evangel University. With his All-American finish, he ended his final season on a high note.
You know, I think this is my favorite part about EUTV is being able to show off the amazing talent that has worked so hard and gotten the recognition they deserve.
I agree. It's always good to show off one of our own, especially at Evangel University. And I know that we have a lot of games and tournaments coming up with golf, tennis, baseball, softball, as we'll talk about here in a second. So it's going to be fun to get to announce those things as how they perform next week.
Absolutely. Now let's take a look at the upcoming sports games for the week.
The women's softball team faces off March 7th on Saturday at the Showtime Classic Tournament in Branson, Missouri at 1:15 p.m.
The men's baseball team will be playing Friday, March 7th away at Kansas City, Missouri versus Avila University at 2 p.m.
The men's tennis team also faces off Monday, March 10th at the Cooper Tennis Complex versus Southwestern College at 12 p.m.
And the men's golf team will be playing March 10th at Evangel Spring International Tournament, Recruitive Golf Course, Springfield, Missouri. Go Evangel Valor! Well, that's all the time we have for Sports Update. We invite you to check out euvalormedia.com for all the latest Evangel news and media. I'm Ethan Mency.
And I'm Adriana McGregor. Be sure to join us in 1 week as we bring to you the latest in sports news. For more information on Evangel Sports, go to evangelathletics.com. This has been Sports Update on EUTV.